In this video, we'll be covering how to set up an evergreen or pre-recorded webinar so that somebody visiting your page can simply choose the time they want to watch and be attending the webinar as if it were live if you choose to set it up that way. So from our dashboard, we're simply going to create a new webinar. Now, I am doing this video with the default template, not the specifically designed landing pages. The process is the same, but if you'd like to buy the landing pages to get that greater variation, you can do so here. So we're going to create a new webinar, but it is in fact a recorded webinar, and so you just need to make that selection here as you're going through. So we're now setting up at a recorded webinar. The difference is that you won't have a live event. So you will need to have your event already done and recorded, hosted somewhere like YouTube, or you can have any embed code from any video service. So long as you can get the embed code, you can even host it on your own site and post that through. We're going to show you how to do that with YouTube specifically. So it's a recorded webinar, and we're going to click on Next. Great, so now you'll see that we have some differences between the tabs, and specifically the 4 buttons at the top are missing because we're not changing the pages that people are seeing as they come through. So we've only got the event and the thank you page. We don't have the live or replay page available here. We do have the vote and pop-up, which again we do cover in a different video, which is how to show timed buying buttons or voting systems within the webinar as they are presented. Okay, so let's talk about setting up the event for a start. In the event details section, you do have the first thing that you'll see, of course, is the title, the same as the other system. So we might say whatever the title is you want it to be, it will show up in the URL. Okay, so whatever your title will be, how to XYZ, fill in the blanks, etc. The next thing you're going to need is the event video URL. And now this is actually the embed code of the video as it's going through. So let's go and have a look at that, where we get that embed code. Here's a Hangout I did earlier. And so it's hosted on YouTube, which happens automatically. When you run a Hangout, it automatically saves that to YouTube. So I want to now use this as a pre-recorded webinar. I'm simply going to go down here where it says Share, and I'm going to go to Embed, and I'm going to get that embed code. I can change the size if I like, and I'm just going to simply copy that and paste it back into this field here. Just like that, as easy as that. Okay, the next thing is, do we want to enable a Watch Now option? So with a evergreen webinar, what happens is the person coming to your page can choose. They may want to see the event at a time that suits them. All right, but we're also giving them the option to watch now. So if they fill in their name and email address, they'll be allowed to watch now if we set that up. I'm going to say yes for this demonstration. You can play with how the yes and no options go through. Okay, with the evergreen system, we have 3 different methods of setting up the replay times. Let's start over here. We have the 3-day system, which shows the times that you set today, tomorrow, and 2 more further days in front. So 3 days only. So that that gives the person visiting the page the impression that this is only going for another week or few days, not that it's ongoing forever and they can just choose any particular day, right? So this shows 3 days in the future. Then I'm going to select the times. You can select all, but that would be against the principle of an evergreen webinar. So let's see if we can make it a bit more realistic. We're going to say, show the replay at a 7 a.m. time slot, a 3 p.m. time slot, and maybe an 8 p.m. time slot, okay? So we have the 3 days at 3 different times per day. I'll come back and show the other options in just a second, okay? Do we want to show a pop-up on the video? Now, the pop-up is our own pop-up system, which allows you to set a timer on a buy button or a take action button. So imagine at 1 hour and 20 minutes through the webinar, you want somebody to click on a specific link or go to a buy button. You can set that up and have that show. You can, again, see the video about the pop-up specifically. But this option is, do we want to show that on this video? Okay, I'm going to turn it off for this part. I'll come back and show that in just a second. Do we want to take registrations? Yes or no? Now, this is when somebody first visits the page. Do you want to take their name and email address or do you want to simply just offer them the choice of webinar times? I'm going to just say yes, let's keep the registrations. And again, we can integrate with any of the autoresponder systems here. And if I choose, for example, Aweber, I then have to go through the Aweber setup. If I choose the GetResponse, I go through the GetResponse setup, etc. The default system is the inbuilt autoresponder, which will capture the name and email of the people and send them the follow-up emails as well. Okay? Do we want the chat on registration? I'm going to say no for this specific case. Okay, so that's the 3-day system with those 3 specific time slots. I won't go through the clock design, page design, or header settings because they are the same as the other video which walks through that setup. So you'll be able to choose which design of clock you want, the design with a full page background or the WYSIWYG editor here, okay, and the header settings, which is your logo and social sharing. I might just turn on the social sharing because I like to see those buttons up the top there. Okay, so we've got a 3-day system with 3 time slots. I'm going to save this event and let's then go and have a look at it. Okay, so the pre-recorded webinar was the title that we gave. Let's see what the people see. You'll notice also that the live button isn't showing in our choices there. Now, we called it pre-recorded webinar, so that's what's showing there. The no page design, and you can say register now. So you enter your name and email. I prefer to watch now. Remember, we turned that option on. Or alternatively, I can see the 3 days that are showing. Today, tomorrow, the day after. So I can say I want to watch tomorrow and I want to watch at 3 p.m. There are the 3 time slots that we set up. Okay, so here's the details of the event. It's available at these particular days and time. You can then make those choices and register, and the system will send you the follow-up emails with the time that you've chosen and make sure that your event is ready to watch. Okay, if you choose I prefer to watch now, it will automatically take you to the event once you enter your name and email. So you're driving traffic to this page, somebody wants to watch it now, they can enter their name and email, so you still get that name and email address, they can register and it'll take them to the watch page. Let's have a look at some of the different options. So that was the 3-day option. 1, 2, 3 with those 3 time slots. Let's have a look at some of the different choices that we have here. So I'll go in and edit this one. Okay, so in our event, remember that we had the 3-day option. Let's have a look at what the calendar option is. Okay, and I'll turn off the watch now. Okay, so I want the calendar. I'm going to keep those same 3 time slots. Everything else the same. I'll just update that and let's go and have a look. So this is now moved to the calendar option. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. So now we still have the name and email. Remember, it doesn't have the watch now option. And what I get to do is say I want to choose the, do you remember we only had 3 days before, today, tomorrow, and the day after? In the calendar option, they can say, look, I'm available on this particular day, and then I get to choose my time, the same 3 time slots, okay? So that's the calendar option they get. First choose a day they want to watch, then they choose a time they want to watch, okay? Which is a very effective way to go. All right, the next option is a day by day. So let me show you that one as our last setup option. So we've seen the 3-day system, which shows today, tomorrow, and the day after. The calendar system, whereby the person will choose which day they want to see. And let's now see the final option, which is days. Okay, when you're choosing days, what the system says is which days do you want to show as an option. So maybe I want to say Monday, Tuesday, and Friday as my options, or Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay, so again, what we're trying to do is make this look like it's a live event, so you can only appear at certain times, and I'll update that event. Let's go back and have a look. Great, so I'll just open that one up. So now what I've got is the pre-recorded webinar, and I want my name and email. The same thing. Now remember that I only chose Friday, Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday. Now what this does is shows 1 week in advance. So it will always show Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever days you choose. But it will show for the next 7 days. So again, the reality is we don't want people to think that this is an event that goes on and on and on and on and on. They only can see 7 days worth of choices on whatever days of the week you've selected. So that will then say when the next week rolls forward, the next Monday, Tuesday will come through, etc. So you'll only ever see the next set of days in that 7-day period of the ones that you've chosen, and again the time. So we might say I want to watch it Monday at 3 p.m. and you can go from there. All right. Let me show you then what happens in the background when somebody chooses to watch this event now. Or actually, let's register now for one that's in the future, and we'll go to the thank you page. So I'll drop my name in here and email. Okay, register, and I'm going to go to a thank you page, which is great, and it shows the date and time that I've chosen. I can add it to my calendar, and the system will automatically follow me up, sending me those emails and sending me the follow-up to watch the replays, etc. But let's see what happens if I choose to watch now. So again, in my event, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say enable the watch now, and I'll just update that. And again, let's go and have a look at that page. So now I have this watch now. I'm going to enter my name. This is somebody coming to your site, remember. And it takes me straight to the event page. So bang, straight away, what I've been able to do is register my name and email and watch the event immediately that I put those details into place. So that's the watch now option. And of course, this will be the page that people see when they come to the event at the time and day that they've chosen. So your event will play at the exact time and day that you've set up and that they've chosen to watch it. But the beauty about an evergreen system is that the person can choose a specific day and time. You can do one event and have that event showing at any day and time that you choose from now and ever on. You don't actually have to be there running the live event, and that is a fantastic way to go. Okay, you've got this page design here, which we talked about. So you can go through with the clock design, the page. You can choose however you want that layout to be, and the header settings. You've also got one other design option here, which is your thank you page. And so again, you've got the ability to set up and design this thank you page however you choose to, so that the people will see the specific settings that you've chosen here. Okay, so an evergreen webinar allows you to create an ongoing series of events from one recorded webinar. All you need to do is paste that code in to this particular area here, and it will show your event at the specific day and time that you've set up in the system.